All right, we are live. First live stream here, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, the app is finally live, finally got it launched. Got the landing page all updated actually just yesterday. So if you want, you can go download the app right now. It's on iOS and Android. Best way to get to it, I suppose, is probably go to traveltreasury.app and then you can download, the version of depending on which device you have because the app stores will take some time to get this kind of indexed properly. In fact, some of you have even commented about this in terms of like ads on the app. The iOS version of the app does not have it does not have ads. Like AdMob is not currently serving ads on the production version of it. So it seems from what I've been looking at with AdMob now, it seems like it could take up to like 3 weeks to get those live. So no worries there though. No app revenue in the initial stages. I don't really anticipate a lot of ad revenue from the app in general, at least not in this early stage. So really the goal now is to get people to download it. So yeah, go download the app for sure. And yeah, let me know what you think. Any questions at all about the channel, the app, developing an app? We can do that. We can go through any of that now. I did update this a little bit as well. Before it used to just have kind of icons that weren't related to the app at all. So now it has these nicer screenshots, which I think will give people a little bit better of a view of what is going on with the app before they download it. I don't really anticipate people are going to read any of these blocks of text, but I think seeing the pictures might be more enticing to go download the app. And that is basically the update there. So yeah, I see a comment, ads should be put when app is growing fast for sure. That's because ads are definitely a numbers game. So if you don't have a lot of traffic, the ads aren't going to do anything. If you only have a few users, it's not going to, you're not even going to get ad revenue from it. I mean, really, you only get the ad revenue from the clicks, so it's not even, if you don't have any users to click on ads, then you're definitely not going to be getting a lot of money from them. One thing definitely is the in-app purchases. That's something that I will be doing shortly. Now that this app is live, kind of the plan is to build smaller features and then deploy them. So it'll be kind of like how these videos have been going. It'd be, the video would build a feature and then nothing was ever deployed because the app wasn't deployed. But now it'd be like, for instance, add an in-app purchase as a feature and then go ahead and just deploy that, launch it, and then since everything is already kind of configured to deploy, it'll be easier to keep iterating over that and really like using users' feedback as well to direct the features of the app. Because at this point in the app right now, like what is launched is so simple. It's not even, I mean, it's like just barely a usable app in my opinion. I mean, there's nothing groundbreaking here. I don't think it's going to get any sort of, huge traction at this point, but any little bit of traction it does get is good because you can just build on that as you go, and then like later once it's more featureful, I think it will be better for ads and growing. So native versus PWA. PWA is a progressive web app. I've never actually done a PWA, or progressive web app, but basically my understanding of it is I think you can use like Iconic is one big framework for that. And you can write your app in like JavaScript, HTML, CSS. The main drawback from those, from at least when I was looking into them, which was probably over a year ago now, is they don't work on iOS. They only work on Android. So you can't, like if you were to build a progressive web app, it's not going to work on iOS. I could be wrong about that. Maybe that's been updated or changed now, but native is obviously like Flutter isn't even native, so it's not and Flutter is not a progressive web app either. It's like a separate framework. I don't even know what they're categorizing this as now. I guess Flutter would be considered like cross-platform, maybe. I don't know, but Flutter basically compiles to native code. Native code would be like writing it in Swift for iOS and like Kotlin or Java for Android. Native, I think, is typically always best. Like if you can build a native app, that's the best. The reason I think Flutter is great though is if you are an individual person building an app, you don't really have the resources to build the iOS and Android version of the app. That's kind of what got me into Flutter originally, is that I built an iOS app and I built it in Swift and that was all great. But then all these people that you tell about the app are like, oh, well, where's the Android version? Where's the Android version? And then it becomes a question like, do I really want to rebuild this whole app to be in Java, like to be compatible with Android? And the answer is no, definitely not. So then it was kind of like move to Flutter, be able to build both the iOS and Android, and that's huge. That's the huge benefit of Flutter. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think progressive web apps are there yet. So one comment is it's not a good practice to put ads on start. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think you can put ads on when you first launch your app. That's definitely fine. I just don't think you should expect to get a lot of money from them. And one thing to note, which a few people commented on some of the ad videos, are like, for instance, I deployed this app to on iOS last week, and I still don't have. It's still not showing in AdMob. So if you go into AdMob, you can see the iOS version of this app. If you go to settings, this is how you would actually connect it. So if you search this, it doesn't even show up. So there's nothing. It's not available yet in AdMob to link to. And then once you can link to it though, then you can actually serve ads through it live. The app name is Travel Treasury, so it's just as displayed here. So you can search it. It does come up in search for both of them, but like iOS and Android. But if you just go to traveltreasury.app, the link is going to be there for both of the stores. I don't have a ton of experience fetching video from a Firestore document, so I'll have to come back to that at a different time. Asking if I would go back to native development since I've used Flutter. Yes, I think I would. I think I definitely would, but it would have to be under the right context, I guess. So if it was, as an indie developer, no, I guess not really. But I would go back to native if it was to build a bigger. Like I think if you scale at all, I'm not sure how much Flutter can scale. Like I don't know how large of an app you can actually build with Flutter, but the I think what native has that, like the main benefit of native possibly would be for iOS, for instance. I think there are some features that Flutter is always going to lag behind. So if you want to be on the cutting edge of stuff, like I haven't looked too much into this, but for instance with iOS, the new thing is those widgets. So having the widgets on your home screen for your app, I don't know that that's yet supported in Flutter. So if you wanted to always have your app on kind of like the cutting edge new technology that the iOS 14 right now has, you might always be delayed by what Flutter allows you to do, whereas with native you can be building that stuff before the app even, before iOS 14 even comes out, because you would have like the developer tool, or you'd have like the developer like SDK from Apple. So I think that would be one reason to go back to native. Yeah, But no, I mean, I do like Flutter. I mean, being able to develop both apps is huge for sure. The design's the same on Android and iOS. Yes, there's no difference actually at all. The only difference, I guess, is really the like the device itself, the settings on the device itself. So I mean, there's like some small things between the devices, but generally the design is the same. There has been no customizations made for either of them, and you can do that with Flutter, but I just have not done that. I think it's actually, if you can avoid doing that, I think it's better because it's easier to maintain, but it's definitely possible to do. Maybe I bring this down here. So this question about the future builder, generally, I'm I think I understand what you're saying. Like generally, you want to just get your feature once, and then let the like if the page rebuilds, you already have that value. I think there's ways to set that up. I mean, there are ways to set that up with like in the init state. So basically, in the init state, you would you would set a feature, and then you would get that feature, and then you would basically have it as a variable. I did talk about that in one of the videos, one or two of the videos, which maybe I could find a link real quick. I don't know. It is a bit confusing. I mean, it's not simple to just explain here. I don't know. I guess I don't really know off the top of my head. But let's see which one maybe it was in. Possibly the search list view Flutter, which is like episode 54. Maybe check that one out. I think that one probably uses the future builder, or even the profile page might use it. Yes, I built this app in my free time. That's actually kind of if you've seen some of the earlier videos, I had a lot more free time back then, which was like June of 2019, and I was quite ambitious. I thought the app would be done in like a month. I thought I could get the app done in a month, and it's been, I mean, obviously that didn't happen, but I think if you do it in your if you do it in your free time, it's definitely gonna take longer, obviously, but the hard part is like if you do program for, like, I have a programming job that is like 40 hours a week, so then it's like doing that and then also programming more like in your free time, that is much harder to do for sure, especially the language difference. So like I don't write Flutter code at my job, so it's kind of like you have to mentally think differently from the language and like the structure. I think it's hard to actually write two apps or work in two different languages that are like very different at the same time. I think that's kind of challenging actually. But yeah, all in my free time. Yeah, I definitely plan on making a version 2 of the app with paid elements. Yeah, and definitely getting rid of the ads. I mean, the ads are not, I don't like the ads on anything, so for sure it would be better to not have ads. The problem right now is the app, I don't think, is valuable enough to have people pay for it, so having an ad on there, which I didn't even put the ads on the main pages, the ads are just on, or there's one banner ad on the profile page, which is like a page that no one's really even going to go to. And then there's one interstitial ad that comes up after you add your first trip. But even the app, you can only have one trip, so that's a limiting thing. I think my thinking is it'll be more of a paid version when you can add. And my thinking is like one trip will be for free, and then if you want to add multiple trips, that'll be the paid version. But which I think always is good. Like I was using Headspace recently, and their free version is like 10. It's like 10 courses or 10 guided meditations, and then the paid version is like hundreds. So I think, and I mean most apps do that, but I think having that small amount and then for free, and then basically getting people to try it out and then pay for unlimited kind of stuff. Let's see, where are we here? The app is on the Play Store, so if you just search Travel Treasury, you'll be able to find it. Or again, just go to traveltreasury.app. Yeah, I agree. I think native Android is much worse than native iOS. I've never done native Android actually, so like doing the XML code or even Java code. Like for me, the main thing for Flutter is like I didn't want to write Java. I did not want to get into Java at all. Um, which Java is useful for sure. I mean, a lot of companies still use it, and if you know it, you can easily get a job. But I don't really have any interest in learning Java. So, but yeah, Flutter's pretty great. Yeah, don't show my AdMob accounts. Good point. Good point. Too late. Oh well. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Storing images locally. Do you mean locally by? I guess by locally you probably mean storing them on the app itself. Um, or do you mean if are you talking about the places images, like the location images? That is actually you're not supposed to do that. Like Google it says not to do that. Basically, it says don't store the images. So they want you. I mean, mainly because they want you to keep using the API. Like they want you to continually hit the API. So they'll pretty much block your account if you start storing them locally or like storing them in your database at all. I do store a reference to the image, and then the image, like that reference can call the API, but that's a bit different, I think. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. The new design definitely is 100 times better than the old design, in my opinion. I mean, it's still definitely not even. It's still not even. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but it's good. It's good for now. I'm happy with it, at least for this version. Yeah, this is a good question. Like, do I have a schedule for this app and YouTube channel? No, not really. It's pretty like random, I guess. I was trying for a while there to upload like 2 videos a week, so having like a video on Sunday and a video on Wednesday. But that I did maybe for a month. I don't know. I tried out kind of different ways of doing it. Mainly though, I only work on it on the weekends. It's like sometimes during the weeknights I will work on it, but it's pretty rare, or it's rare to like really get into it. So yeah, the weekends are mainly when I work on it. So it depends if I have anything going on that weekend, then I don't really get anything done, and then obviously if I have more free time, I'm good to go. But that's kind of with January coming up, like the new year coming up. I am going to be trying to be more consistent with it, and more, yeah, more consistent with it, and really having a higher output and doing things quicker. So, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, promoting the app. I haven't really. This is actually like kind of the first promotion of the app right now. This live stream. I haven't really told anyone about the app being live yet. Um, so yeah, you guys, I guess, are the first to hear about it. Definitely, Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all the social medias are a good place to promote it for free. Um, that will get you like a certain amount of downloads, I think. So yeah, definitely. I mean, like sharing the link everywhere. Like my plan now, the plan of this landing page was always to have this one link that can then link to these two spots, so that with any like organic traffic, you don't need to worry about the device type. Because the problem, or one of the problems with I mean, like, for instance, if you post on like Instagram, you're going to want, you're only able to really have one link. So that is why, I mean, that is why that will be helpful. Now, if you do like a targeted ad with Facebook or something, then you would want to just you could like target the Android crowd and just use the Android link. But that's something I'll definitely be making videos about this coming like January, is like the actual marketing side of this and like getting downloads, getting getting downloads really, and how to like promote your app. There are a lot of free ways you can do it, which just take time, and then there's the paid way, which is like running ads, which you need to. I mean, to when you're running ads, you need to like be mindful of, is it worth it? Like you need to be like, the amount you spend needs to be at least getting you users that can essentially convert to paid users. So I don't think I'll run ads really until the app is more developed, like until it has like more features and in-app purchases, because then you can think of it like, if I spend $5 a day on ads, for instance, and I get one paying user out of a day on average, and the paying user is paying like $10, then it's worth it. Which is, it's like, that's actually really hard to do, I think, to get users, or to make your ad money worth it, because basically you can go into Facebook and just like fill out the form and like run an ad, but if the ad isn't really, if it's not a good ad and you don't even have a good thing that can convert, then you're kind of just wasting money. And I think a lot of people do that, myself included, when they start out with Facebook ads. Yeah, start the next project with API. Maybe. I mean, maybe, but I also feel like that Firebase and these like, I mean, Firebase is just one of them. I think Amazon has like a version of it as well, and there's probably a few others, but like these backends as a service basically make the development process so much quicker. So you don't even need to worry about building the backend. And I do think if the app grew a lot, like if the app became huge, then it would make sense to build a backend yourself. I don't really see that happening for this app, to be honest. And I don't know. I mean, maybe it will. It all depends on how much time is put into the app to build out better features. So, I mean, I don't see that happening for this app anytime soon. So it wouldn't be worth it at this point, I don't think. Yeah, this Adobe XD plugin to Flutter, I did look into that when it first came out, and I didn't. I don't know. I looked into it a little bit and tried to. I was going to make a video about it, but I didn't like the way it was working, or I wasn't able to get it to work. I can't really quite remember. But yeah, I'll look into that again. And update on that. Yeah, thanks. The book reviews, I feel like, I mean, the book reviews, I enjoy doing the book reviews. They're also like a slightly easier videos to make. So that was part of my thinking with those as well. But this channel definitely has become way more of a Flutter channel and a programming channel, which was never actually the intent. If you go back to kind of the earlier videos, the intent was never even to actually show all the development of the app. The intent was to more show how to like how to build an app, but not necessarily show you everything about building the app, and then also how to design it, make sure the design is good, and then more importantly, which I haven't really done at all, is marketing it and how to actually, once you have an app, how to market that to get downloads and to get users. So that is going to be like the main focus, or that's going to be much more of a main focus in the coming months, is that marketing piece of it. But yeah, the book reviews, I'm thinking of potentially doing the book reviews in like a shorter format, like one of the like those newer YouTube shorts, and maybe do the book reviews as like a 60-second video. But I don't know. I haven't really decided on that yet. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I think anyone who's building their own app would have an interest in entrepreneurship for sure. I mean, if you want, like, if you want to be just a developer, then this channel is also pretty good for that because you can learn how to code. But I mean, my goal for sure is to make these apps that are useful and that are valuable to people, and that they can also make money. So yeah, I think those books help with that. But yeah, discussing more of the business and marketing side is for sure part of the original plan, and it will be what I will be doing in the coming months. I haven't really mentioned too much about optimization, and I think Flutter is pretty fast, but I've noticed a little like delay in some of the screens when I'm viewing the live version, compared to like an iOS native app. But I think that's probably can be optimized. So I do need to look into that a little bit more. But Flutter, I think, is pretty fast generally. I think it can definitely be optimizing. I think anything can always be optimized more. So there's always room for improvement. Cool. Yeah, I can make a video about this of like all that stuff publishing to the App Store. Um, yeah, it is a bit confusing. I mean, definitely you need like a privacy policy, which I made a video about that, and then yeah, they do ask you a lot of questions about like user privacy now. That's all kind of new or newer. They didn't used to do that. Like they didn't used to make you like fill out all that stuff. It used to just be you just uploaded a privacy policy. But I mean, it makes sense. Apple is more on the user privacy kick now, so I guess that's why they're doing that. I mean, it even shows in the App Store now. Like, I thought it was kind of interesting. Like, I wonder if it will show here. It'll show you like, yeah, this app privacy thing, which is interesting. Like, this never used to be here. And then I think like I probably haven't downloaded an app. I mean, when I go to download an app, I don't even really look at this stuff, which I think will come into like marketing. Like that's going to be something we need to consider when we're marketing. Like this, I would never read any of this if I was going to download an app. I mean, these pictures, it would be okay. Yeah, that looks cool. I'll download it, and then you download it, and then if the first thing it asks you is like log in, I mean that's a huge barrier, which is a setback to the app I have right now. But yeah, this privacy stuff is interesting for sure. Like they want you to know, they want people to know what information you're collecting, which is good. I don't think any of that's bad. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, I'll make a video more in depth with that then. So much yeah, I am. I'm alone right now in my apartment, so that's why it's quite quiet. The yeah, the whole pandemic stuff, it's like everyone's remote now. Everyone's at home. But yeah. Yeah, this is kind of I agree. Like it would be like like this is what I want to do as well. Like kind of split the channel more and have more videos on marketing an app, growing an app, that kind of stuff, and then the development stuff will be like in a sense it's like that part is kind of is done, but at the same time it's not done. So I mean, I'm hoping to kind of do one of each video type a week, but we'll see how that goes. Like ideally there'll be a development video one day. Like for instance, like Sunday could be a development video. I mean, if these live streams go good, maybe these can start going once a week as well. But yeah, do like a development video one day, do a marketing video another day, and then do like an app review or a book review another day. But I don't know. We'll see if there's enough time for all that. Yeah, the development videos are for sure boring. It's like, I mean, that's also something that made this whole like this. I guess the process takes so long is like to make the video itself takes so much more time than to just write the code, because you write the code and then I mean like I'll write the code and then I also have to like way more deeply understand what I'm writing, whereas if I'm not going to have to explain it to someone, I can kind of get by with understanding it like 70%, even 50%. Like, oh, it works, that's cool, I can figure out later why exactly. But when it needs to go in a video, it's like I need to understand why it's working fully so that I can explain it. So that takes a little bit longer, which is good though. I mean, it makes me actually better. It makes me a better developer for sure to be able to fully understand stuff. But then yeah, because I'll write the code first and then I'll write it again and record myself writing it, and then I'll edit it, which is so it's essentially like doing it 3 times. But it's, I mean, it's good. I think it's a good way to learn for sure. I think it's a good way to learn this stuff more in depth. So yeah, maybe if you're learning, maybe you should just start making videos, right? I don't know. Maybe not though. Maybe it's not worth it. Um, yeah, for the screenshots, um, the I use Sketch, so it's Sketch is closer to Adobe XD, instead of like Photoshop or Illustrator. Um, yeah, Sketch is pretty good. It's not. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think any of those could work though. It's basically just a way. You just need a way that you can like manipulate an image, create an image. But I do plan to make a video on that as well. Oh, all right. Yeah, late over there. Yeah, here we're on like a 12-hour difference then, because here it's 12:30 p.m. So yeah, that's a good point. That would be interesting to make. Um, yeah, cool. I'll put that on the list as well. Yeah, Figma. I've never used Figma, but my understanding of that is you can use it like right in the browser, and that's pretty cool. I think you can just like you don't even need to download it. I think I'm sure there's probably a version of it that you can download, but you can just get the browser version, and then you're set. Um, but yeah, I guess we're a bit over 30 minutes now, so unless there's any other questions, I feel like we might wrap this first live stream. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what are the thoughts on these on doing like some sort of Q&A live stream, like weekly or monthly maybe? Would that be useful? Okay, so I'm assuming you mean for the Android internal testing link. That for me, when I deployed my app to Android or like for the first time, it took like almost 3 days. I think it was like about 3 days, 3 or 4 days before the link even worked. So so that share link was basically it was basically yeah, it was not live. Like you would click it and it would just be, I think, a blank screen. So that kind of sucked. But yeah, 3 days. I don't know if all this stuff is like taking longer because of just like people are not working in the company, like people are working remote and everything is taking longer, or if that's just the typical process. But that first one takes a long time. But then once you get like for instance, when I deployed like my version 2 of that was quick. Like that got accepted really quickly. And then, so I think just like that first version is the one that is going to take the longest. Cool. Figma is free. I will check that out. I mean, yeah, Sketch for me is free now. I bought like a license back in like a couple years ago, but which back then they had a license where you can just pay like $100 and you had all full access. Now I think they're on the subscription based thing. Cool. That's one vote for the live chats. Yeah, I mean, I think the live chat is I think it's pretty good. So maybe we'll do these more. Yeah, I agree. Like seeing the live is pretty cool. Um, yeah, a week for it to work. So that's a good bit. Yeah, as I said earlier, like I'm still waiting on the iOS ad mob link to happen. So that some things I read on like Stack Overflow were saying like 3 weeks. Like it was taking like 3 weeks for that to show up. So maybe it'll take that long. Potentially, yeah. I mean, I don't know that I would do it the same way I've done this series. Like this series, it was very like step by step. I guess what I mean by that is I was always developing until kind of towards the end there. I was always developing like the feature and then making the video and then uploading the video and then make the next feature like that. I think it would be actually probably a lot better to build the whole app or build like half the app at least and then start making the videos like afterwards. Which is kind of towards the end I started to do that. Like for instance, where the app is now, the videos have not caught up to that. So I have like a few, like I plan to do like videos about restyling it and even like more detail about like getting it on the App Store, but none of that has been done yet. So maybe in the next, I mean, if I were to do another app series, I might do it. I might like record, like I might build the app first and then record it all. But yeah, I'm not sure yet. I think there's still like a ton left to do with this app. Like I think there's still a lot of good things that we can cover with this app. Yeah, 5 days. So it's definitely that's common then for it to take a while. But yeah, cool. I think that'll be it then. I'll hopefully probably will do these then a little bit more often. But cool, that's gonna be it then for this stream. Have a great day.